Boys Inc. episode 58. I think it's 58. Got Nate back again. We're doing this
Ew.
shit. Let's do it. So what's up? What's going on? What's the
Uh,
word on the street? What's the news?
do got one big thing.
Okay.
I'm a little late to the party on this one, but Invincible just wrapped up season 2.
Oh, nice. How was that?
So it took them like a fucking year to like air the season. So like 3 years between season 1 and season 2, and then this 8 episode season aired for like most of this year,
Okay.
which people were pissed about because they had a mid-season break for like 4-ish months. Kind of insane.
Yeah,
Got
that's.
a really bad spot too.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tough. It's weird. I keep getting recommended people explaining things from Invincible, but like the comics exclusively on my like YouTube shorts. And I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. They're talking about like there's time travel and alternate dimensions and
Oh yeah,
shit.
no, it gets fucked, man.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I don't know who any of these people are, but cool.
You watched like the first few episodes or first
I
episode?
saw the first episode of season 1.
Okay.
Like just enough to know like, oh, Omni-Man bad guy.
Yeah, yeah, that's episode
Omni-Man
one.
not a good dude.
So, do you care about spoiler talk?
Not a ton. I got kind of the general premise is like, okay, his dad is actually there to like destroy Earth sort of, or at least like subjugate it. But he's like the main character's
Right.
not down with that
Yeah.
because he's half human.
That's season 1, yeah.
Okay.
Season 1 is basically like his dad's Superman, but Krypton is like these evil warlords that want to colonize the universe.
Okay.
And yeah, he was sent to Earth, but he hooked up with this Asian chick, and there's like, no, you know what? This is pretty sweet. So
Based.
yeah, so he doesn't want to take over. But if he doesn't finish his job, they're gonna come and fucking kill him and his family and all that. So and
Uh.
they'll just finish the job anyway. So like he kind of has to.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, his son gets the powers and he's kind of like freaking the fuck out, right? 'Cause he's like, oh, I actually have to do this now, you know. And
Yeah.
tells his son's not down with it, so they have a big fight, and that's season 1.
Okay.
Uh,
That's where all the memes come from. I've seen tons of memes of that
oh,
fight.
the think mark,
Yeah, think
yeah,
Mark, or when they're flying next to the jet, and he's like, "Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power."
yeah, yep.
Nice.
So I liked season 1 a lot when I watched it the first time. And I went back and I read the comics, all the comics, because I had a 3-year waiting period before season 2 even started. So I still love season 1, but it's very different. Like
Okay.
the story is pretty faithful, but like the tone is like totally off. So it's really down to one key thing. It's just so you've seen all the memes you said from that final fight, right?
Yeah.
With like the jets and he's pounding his son to death on the rock and like all that shit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. He's getting fucking destroyed. Yeah.
So like they really made it much more like dramatic, I guess. I don't know if that's
Okay.
the right word, but dramatic in the show. So like in the show, right? During that fight, he's just slaughtering people left and right, just trying to like prove a point to his son. You know, like he's trying to prove to his son and to himself, like we're above this. You know,
Yeah. Humans are insects. It's
right?
not that big a
He's got to like
deal.
reprove it to himself and also prove it to his son, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, he's finally, uh, his son keeps fighting back. He's beating him to death, right?
Yeah.
And before he can land the final blow to like kill his son says something to him. Have you seen? I don't know if that was really like a memed on, but uh, he says, "What will you have 500 years from now?" His point being, they live for like thousands of
Yeah.
years, and the humans are going to die off, right?
Yeah.
And his son is like barely breathing. And he just goes, "You, Dad," and he stops and he flies away.
Damn.
And as he flies off screen, you just see like a little single tear floating in space, and that's the end of season 1.
Okay.
Right. I read the comics after that. Fucking none of that happens.
Oh, okay.
So they fight, but the tone is like totally different. The tone in the show was like he's trying to reprove this to himself and prove it to his son and whatever. In the comics, it's really just like, no, he always fucking sucked. He's just trying to get his son on his side.
Okay, so in the show they're trying to have him kind of be like Darth Vader, where it's like he's evil and still doing evil things, but like he's doubting it. Like
Yes,
he's beginning
exactly.
to doubt that he should be evil, and like, well, maybe your son could convince you to be a good guy. And
Right.
he's like, and then in the end, he kind of does.
Yeah, yeah. So the comics are simpler in that sense, and the other thing though is like there's none of the killing people part. Like he fights his son, and there's casualties because there's two like
Yeah,
fucking
they're
superheroes duking
beating
it
the
out,
shit out of
right?
each other, like destroying buildings and shit.
Yeah, but he's not going out of his way to just like fucking murder people.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the subway scene?
Yeah, I've seen stills of it where it's like he's holding Mark in front of a train, like that's
Yeah,
about to hit him. Yeah.
yeah. That's just they made it up for the show. Like that's out of nowhere.
Oh, okay. It just looks
And I'm
sick.
not saying I don't like it. Like it's a cool fucking fight, but
Yeah.
that's also like one of his it's one of his fatalities in
Oh,
Mortal Kombat.
in
'Cause they put it
Mortal,
in Mortal Kombat.
yeah, in Mortal Kombat, yeah.
That he just puts the character in front of the train. But it's hard to go any further without getting into further spoilers, so I won't if you don't want to do that. But
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. Okay, okay, do you think season 1 or season 2 is better?
okay, yeah. So non-spoiler talk.
Yeah.
Uh, fuck. It's all right. So season 2 for all of our loyal listeners who have watched Invincible. Um, the biggest problem I've been hearing from fans who only watch the show and haven't read the comics is that the pacing seems really weird.
Okay.
And again, I can't really get into it, but like, I agree with that 100%.
Okay, so
Like,
season
it doesn't
2.
bother me because I know what's coming next.
Oh, right. Okay.
But like, it does seem like if I didn't know what was coming next, I would be kind of disappointed with where they left season 2 off.
That makes sense. Yeah, like if they leave season 2 with like a cliffhanger and you're like, "Oh, I got to know what
Right.
happens," but now I got to wait like a year or 2 or 3 for the next season. But if you read the
Like,
comics, you're like, "Oh, I already know what happens." Yeah, sick.
yeah, so that's the thing. It's like it's not a cliffhanger. It's almost like an anticlimactic ending. But I know that they're teeing up some like really good shit.
Okay.
But if I didn't know that, like it would be kind of
Yeah, it would be
a bit
super
disappointing.
frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah,
It is
just
weird how
not a whole
like
lot went on at the end of the season. So
it is weird how like knowing the story of something in advance but seeing it in like a new medium is kind of fun. Like
right,
I got that with JoJo Part 6 cuz I had read it before they animated it and they kept it like the exact same story.
yeah.
So
So
I was watching Part 6 when it came out and I was like, "Well, it's cool to be able to see it and know the direction it's heading in and just really be in that moment and not have to think like about the plot. You can kind of just sit back and enjoy it and like really appreciate it because I'm not trying to think like, oh, what's going to happen next.
yeah,
Because it feels like a lot of the time you can kind of get like too into thinking about what's going to happen next.
hmm
Like I get that with One Piece a lot because I don't know what's going to happen next. Where I'm watching it, I'm just like,
have you
dude,
read any of the manga for One Piece or no?
not really. I caught up to the anime and then considered it, but then I was like, oh well, the manga's
It's
going on
way too
hiatus
fucking
for
much.
yeah, the manga was going on hiatus for like a month or two, And I was like, all right, well maybe I might want to, but it was just like it just at that point I was like, I'd rather start reading it when an arc starts rather than halfway through.
Right. Yeah, so just because of like the pacing and stuff, I mean, I think season two had some better material
Okay.
in it, but like as a whole season, start to finish, I think season one was better.
Okay.
It was better paced, and they kind of went really strong as like I feel like they were very they knew what they had to do, you know. Like this is
Yeah.
proof of concept for the show in the era of superhero fatigue.
Yeah, where everyone is like, okay, I'm definitely not interested in
Right,
seeing a new superhero if like the classic Marvel characters aren't selling anymore. Why would you go see a new one?
right.
You need some sort of
So
intrigue.
I think they sold it really well with season one. The only downside to season two, downsides to season one, I guess. There's this one character that everybody fucking hates. I get it. She was another huge change from the comics, and I get it. I think she was better in the comics.
Okay.
Um, and then the other thing is, even people who like love the show and love season one, everybody clowns on the fucking animation. The animation is dog shit in season one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's what's weird? I've been noticing that. I just started recently watching Black Clover because they put it on Netflix and I'd been meaning to watch it for a while. And it's weird because
I don't know.
I feel like I it's kind of like how people would talk about as far as anime goes, how people would talk about in like vaguely the early 2000s there were like the big 3.
Like Death Note and
No. So like basically
no.
when they talk about like anime getting big outside of Japan, it always starts with Dragon Ball, but Dragon Ball was like the
Oh,
grandfather of
okay.
all that shit, right? Like
Like that level of big.
yeah, like Dragon Ball
Okay.
was like the first one that like really got people outside of Japan to know what anime is. And
Right.
then after that there were like 3 that all took off within like 5 years of each other roughly and got fucking huge. It was One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach. And I think they came out in like 1999, 2004, and 2005, something like that. So like a ton of
Okay.
people grew up with these, and then they all kind of like, if you were super into anime at that time, you probably really liked at least one of them.
Right.
I kind of think that Black Clover is like the next generation of Big Three. I think it's one of them, and I think I'm watching them in the worst order. I think I'm watching them worst to best.
What are the other two in like the modern big three?
Yeah, so the modern big 3 I would say is probably My Hero Academia, Black Clover, and Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay.
So I watched I think the first 3 seasons of My Hero Academia, and I really don't like it. It's bad.
I've heard it's bad.
It's
Yeah.
not good. I don't know
That's what I've
why
heard.
people love it so much. Like it just weirdly captured a bunch of people, and it's so frustrating to me that people like that show and it's so profitable. I normally don't care if people like something that I don't like. It usually doesn't bother me at all. But in this one specific case, it bothers the shit out of me because it means that the studio that does it, which I really like, is not working on anything else but that, basically.
Uh,
It's I believe it's Studio
what else did they
Bones,
do?
Full
Okay.
Metal Alchemist. They did Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is
Oh shit.
peak. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is
Yeah.
so good, and then they do like My Hero
I gotta
Academia,
try
which
that
is
one.
like My Hero Academia is like the anime as far as the animation and like the sound and everything. It looks and sounds great. Everything from like that Studio Bones has contributed to it is really good. Like it looks sick, it sounds cool, the music is great, but the writing is just not what I want at all. um I think it's Bones. Hold on, let me make sure I'm not spreading misinformation online.
What's the studio that does Attack on Titan and The
Uh,
new Viking one.
that one is Mappa.
Okay.
Yeah, they did Attack on Titan, and then they're now doing, or at least helping somewhat with Vinland Saga, which Vinland Saga is also really fucking good. Yes, Studio Bones. Oh yeah, they also did Soul Eater. Oh, they did a bunch of things I like.
Okay.
They did do My Hero. They also did Soul Eater, Full Metal Alchemist, Mob Psycho 100, Space Dandy, and Noragami, which I like all of those. And then they also did Bungo Stray Dogs, which I want to watch, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So I'm super pissed whenever that show gets renewed for another season because I'm like, damn it, that's another season that they're working on that and not something else that I might like.
Right.
Black Clover though is kind of like it's different. I don't know. I don't remember what studio does it, but the animation is not spectacular. At least in the first couple episodes. I'm still early on, but it's really not great. And I think it might be the dub that's holding it back too, because I'm watching it dubbed. But like, it's got a real like Saturday morning cartoon feel to it. And
It's
it's kind of distracting.
yeah.
Like it does kind of pull all of the wind out of the sails of like a serious moment when a character does something that's like clearly being brought down so that it's not too intense. Like the episode that I just watched ended with they're all in this city and it starts getting attacked by like some guy that can use magic or something, and he summons a bunch of zombies. So there's a bunch of zombies like destroying the city and like everything's on fire, and all the main characters basically split up to go save the town. And the main character finds this guy that looks like he's pretty important to having the zombies attack, and he's about to like kill this little girl on the street because he's evil. Like she's running away, like pleading for her life, and he's like about to kill her because he's such a scumbag. And he's like about to attack her, and he's like, "I'll destroy you," and it's like you can't say "I'll kill you." Like I'll destroy you. Oh, because we gotta like, it's for people younger than 8, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that's a bit strange. Before like the main character interrupts him, aha, he's here, he's gonna stop him. Just weird because it doesn't shy away from like other characters being killed so long as it's not happening actively. Like they just got done explaining some guy's backstory, and it's like, yeah, they were all raised in this like Weapon X program, and the final test was all of these like students had to basically kill each other, and the last one alive wins, and they get to graduate or whatever. They had no problem just
Oh
saying,
fuck.
yeah, it was just straight up all murders there. Like they had no problem saying it then.
Right.
Like yeah, all of them are dead. You see several of them die even though they're like 12, and that's fine. You can show that, but you can't have the like a guy that's clearly a villain be like, "I'll kill you." He's got to say, "I'll destroy you." It's like, oh, okay, all right, what are we doing? Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Black Clover just yet, because it seems like maybe just give it a little bit more time, especially because the pacing, like things are happening quickly at least. But I like the premise. The first time I watched it, I really hated the premise.
Yeah, what's it about? I've never heard of this one.
Okay, so it's basic. The idea is it's this fantasy world where everyone is born with magic power, and it like corresponds to an element usually. So like everyone has like a
Okay.
magic power, and the main characters are these two kids that were both orphaned and left in front of this church. They're not brothers, although they kind of act like brothers. They're not, because they're both orphans from different parents, or at least that's what everyone suspects.
Okay.
And they're living at this church, and they both decide they want to be like the baddest fucking wizard on the planet.
It's wizard shit.
Yeah, it's wizards.
Nice.
They're both trying to become the Wizard King, who's like the guy in charge of the whole country because he's the baddest wizard. So they're both trying to do that. Um, and then the problem is one of them was born with like insanely high talent in magic, and the other was born with zero proclivity for it whatsoever. Like, one of them is just like innately, insanely more powerful than everyone else around him effortlessly, and the other one is like completely incapable of casting any magic at all. And like everyone bullies him for it. Cuz like everyone has at least a little bit except him. He has none.
Okay.
So they end up going to this ceremony. This is all like the first 2 episodes. This isn't really a spoiler or anything.
Right.
They end up going to this thing where like you're supposed to, it's like a coming of age thing, where you're allowed like to get a magical book, and that'll keep all your spells in it. And that's like when you're like 12 or 15 or what, I don't know how old the main characters are. And then the guy that is born super talented with all the magic power gets this like legendary fucking spell book to choose him, and they're like, oh my god, it's actually, the prophecy or whatever. Like,
Fucking butt fart, yeah.
yeah, it is of huge, huge significance because the book that he has a clover on the front with 4 leaves on it. They're like, oh my god,
Ooh.
the 4-leaf clover book picked you.
Spicy.
That's like a huge deal. Like, oh my god, dude, there's no way. Who are you? And he's like, I don't know who my parents are. And they're like, damn, whoa, you're the best ever. Please, like, just.
Fuck my daughter.
Yeah, exactly. Please fuck my daughter and my wife. Just, you can do whatever you want. That's basically what they're doing. And then the main character, who's the one who has, like, no power, is like, fuck, he doesn't get picked by a book at all. But he still wants to be the strongest wizard, but he doesn't have a spell book and can't cast any magic. But they show a ton of screen time is devoted to showing that, like, rather than doing magic, he just spends all of his time out in the woods training, like, just working out to get fucking ripped. So he's, like, physically in amazing condition. Like, he's super fucking strong and fast. Whereas everyone else just uses magic for everything, so they're all a bunch of fucking nerds, basically. So him and his adopted brother are leaving the place, and his brother with the super powerful book gets attacked because some people from town are like, we'll just steal his book. If it's so fucking special, we'll just steal it and sell it.
Right.
And then the main character who has no power is like, he has like anime protag, fucking power up moment where he's like super pissed, and then that, awakens some sort of power. And now he has a spell book. And the spell book has a clover on it with 5 leaves on it.
Oh,
and I was like, I was like, I hate this premise. This premise fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking awful. But I ended up hearing, like, just from osmosis that, like, it's not exactly that. Because I thought, like, okay, it's going to do the thing where, like, oh, his spellbook is actually just even more powerful and no one's heard of it before. And it's like, oh, his magic is actually the best one. It's actually kind of not. He just has some weird niche shit. So he still can't cast spells, but he can summon a sword. Like, he can summon a magic sword from the book. And the only thing magic about the sword is that it can deflect other magic. Like, it cancels out magic.
Oh.
And that's it. So it just has the property of, like, if someone builds something out of magic, you can destroy it with the sword. Or if someone shoots, like, a fireball at you, you could deflect it. And that's about it. Like, it just is an anti-magic tool.
Right.
But because he's in such insanely good shape, he can kind of make it work. Like, oh, this guy that I'm fighting, yeah, he can shoot fireballs or whatever, but I'll just bat them back at him. And then, like, run at him and cut him in half. Because it's still a sword.
Right.
So that's the premise, is, like, he has anti-magic and no magic of his own.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I like that premise a whole lot more. Where it's like, oh, he has a power that's super special, but, like, not very many people would be able to take advantage of it except for him.
Right.
because they're all fucking dweebs. So I wanted to see where that goes because it seems like that premise could be cool. Like, oh, your only power is you can cancel out everyone else's power, and then they have to fight you evenly, but you're also ripped. Like, okay, wait, hold on. Now that sounds a lot better than your magic is just better than everyone.
Yeah.
Which is actually the exact reason I don't like My Hero Academia is because it does that with the plot. They're like, yeah, he has
Yeah,
no
I remember
power.
watching the first episode, and that's it.
Yeah, it's
I watched the first episode, and it's like, oh, it's just one of these stories.
yeah, like I thought because of the amount of hype, I watched the first episode, and in the first episode, he's like running around and always taking notes about whenever he encounters like heroes.
Yeah.
So I thought because it was so hyped, I was like, oh, I see exactly what's gonna happen. He's not gonna have any powers, but he's still gonna make it work because he's like, he takes notes like this. He's actually just gonna use his brain and outsmart every problem, right?
Yeah,
Like
no.
he'll like take note of like what someone's potential weaknesses would be just through understanding and studying the nature of people's powers, and then then he'll, despite not having powers, be just so smart and clever and witty that like he can still succeed. And they're like, no, it's episode 5 now, he gets the best power in the whole universe. And you're like, oh, now it's
Like,
never mind.
no, joke's on you, it's a lot gayer than that.
Yeah, yeah, joke's on you. What if it sucked? What if it was bad? Like, oh, okay, never mind then. And I still watched 3 seasons of it. It's still, it's so funny. Season 3, there's like a thing that happens towards the end that is so funny. Like, I don't know how everyone hasn't immediately been like, yeah, this is kind of retarded. Because there's a moment where
Yeah, no idea.
a character is like saying something, and you're like, wait a minute, this guy is making like an insane amount of sense right now. It's like the main
Is
character.
that the villain?
Not really. It's like the main character's rival,
Oh,
but he's still a good guy.
okay.
Like he's not really an antagonist. He's more like just trying to beat the main character, but not for evil reasons, but to just prove that he's better. But
Okay.
he's trying to be a better hero, so he's not really a bad guy. But he did bully the main character as a kid. I don't know. It's
Oh,
not super well written. So this kid that like bullied the main character wants to be some amazing hero also, and he's super frustrated at this point in the story because he keeps getting cucked. He keeps getting no glory. Like he gets taken hostage and then everyone has to come save him, and the main character keeps getting all this recognition for having the coolest power ever, and now he's completely overshadowed him. And he's like,
all
all
right.
right, we're going to go sneak out and we're going to go settle this shit. We're going to just go fight and see which one of us is better. And while they're fighting, he's having like this fucking breakdown where he's like yelling at the main character. And he's like, dude, what, like, why do you think that you're so important that you deserve this power? Like, yeah, I get it. You worked hard for it or whatever. But like, I've been training my power like way longer than you have. And yours is way more powerful than mine. This is not fair.
Yeah. That's why the
Like,
show's fucking
yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, and you're like, well, yeah, wait, he's right. Like, what is it? Like, it's not like he gets this power because he worked harder than everyone else. It was a lot of luck.
Yeah.
In fact, it was an insane amount of luck. Like, yeah, he had to, like, clean up that beach for a summer. Like, it took a couple months of, like, physical labor to do it. But, like, how many other characters, like, surely someone else had worked harder for it that didn't get it. And I was like, wait a minute, this guy, he's fucking exactly right. Yeah. Like, they show you one montage of the main character working hard, and they're like, okay, give him the best power ever. And then you're like, you're supposed to accept that he works harder than everyone else. Meanwhile, this guy's like, no, I've been working hard for years, and you've been working hard for 6 months, like tops.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the first episode in high school
Yeah.
because I sat next to I can't name drop, but you know, the guy.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm talking about?
I do. I
Yeah.
remember trying to tell him that this show sucks, and he wasn't having it.
Oh, he did that with a lot of things.
It's true.
Did
That's
that with
true.
Zootopia as well.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Fucking Zootopia is a 10 out of
what does
10.
that say about him?
I
Yeah.
well precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that is a really cursed combination of things to be into. Fucking My Hero and Zootopia. Holy shit.
Zootopia.
Oh my god.
God.
Dude, tell me you're a degenerate without telling me you're a degenerate. Holy shit. No, that's crazy. Um, yeah, so I've been watching Black Clover, and it's all right so far. The animation, though, the animation's not spectacular. I want to know who does it, because there have been times where I'm watching it, I'm like, what the fuck is it? How are people like, oh my god, bro, this shit is so good? Who does this?
No.
Parrot, but
Like,
it's spelled like Pierrot.
oh,
Pierrot. I don't know.
okay.
Oh Jesus, it's the one that does Naruto. Oh, I see why. I see why the animation isn't good then. Now I
Oh
get it.
yeah, I've seen the Naruto animation.
Yeah, it's
Like the
not great.
slowed down
Yeah,
Naruto.
yeah, it's not great. Yeah, so I'm gonna watch fucking Jujutsu Kaisen after Black Clover, and I've heard Jujutsu Kaisen is supposed to be fucking really good, and I have the highest hopes for that one out of the big three of this generation or whatever. All right, let's get into some topics.
Okay.
Dude, O.J. Simpson died. Shout out to a
Yes, he
real
did.
one. Shout out to the realest one, the real hustler. Okay, this is not gonna be a historic hustler episode because I feel like he didn't quite do enough. I feel like just
He only killed like what, 2 people?
his body count was only 2, and he like had a pretty successful NFL career, and that's about it.
And acting.
I guess
He was in a Naked Gun, man.
he was.
He was the killer in that movie.
He was typecast.
Yeah, there you go.
They're like, we need a guy that would murder some people. And OJ was like, I guess I'll try out. And they're like, wow, you really nailed it. Have you done this before? He was like, no, I'm planning on it though.
Not yet.
Not yet, not yet. You've never killed anyone before, right? What day is it? Monday? No, I haven't. Yeah.
No, it was just fucking delayed death penalty.
I guess. I think he died of like cancer or something.
It's prostate cancer, yeah.
Oh, damn. Dude, I love that as soon as he died, everyone was like, okay, now it's time to get these jokes off. You know what I mean? Like, now it's time to really clown him.
Yeah.
Like, there were some people that
He
were
can't
waiting.
come get you now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, now that you know he won't show up to your house and kill you, like, now you
Right.
can really dunk on him. You know what I mean? I saw a lot of people, and a lot of them were getting recycled, but I saw a lot of really funny jokes about it where they're like, damn, dude, he's up in heaven right now being like, man, God, who really did it? Please, just tell him I died before I could figure it out. Please.
Telling me.
Yeah, meanwhile, fucking his wife and her boyfriend are looking up at them from hell with the actual killer.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I saw a lot of jokes like, damn, well, at least he can rest easy knowing the person that killed his wife and her boyfriend are dead on like the day that he died. Yeah, so shout out O.J. Simpson. If you just, done a little bit more, you could have had your own historic hustler section, but you don't. So you only get like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, there's this woman that I work with that has had a like, I don't know if funny is the right word, but has had a run of bad luck in terms of,
Oh.
it just seems like she might be cursed.
Oh shit.
So I work in a restaurant, and one of the things I'm supposed to do is clean tables when people get up. Like, I bust tables when people are done. They've promoted me since then, but I still do that sometimes.
Right.
So she's working, and I see she's a server there, and one of her tables has a bunch of menus on it, and there's no one sitting there. And I was like, that's weird. Should I go clean this table off? I don't know if there's like, did the people just leave? Like, there's no food and there's a bunch of menus. Are they all just like in the bathroom, or do they all have to go to like their car or something? Like, what happened? So I go up to her and I'm like, yo, is that table, like, did they leave or are they still here? Like, what's the deal with that? And she was like, oh, yeah, one of them just had a stroke, so they had to leave. I was like,
Oh,
oh, damn. That sucks.
fuck.
So should I clean that table now? And she was like, yeah, you can do that. Just, oh, okay, damn. Brother just had a fucking
Yeah.
stroke right there and, like, I didn't even realize. They were just like, yeah, we're just going to drive him to the hospital.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. I thought there would have been more commotion. I'm honestly more surprised that it just, like, they snuck away. They're like, oh, you're having a stroke? All right, let's all walk out of here. Like, there was no rush. There was no loudness whatsoever. It was just, they were just gone like a fucking whisper in the night. And then, like,
It's just, yeah.
the day after, she was working again, and I was working at the same time, and I overhear her and one of the managers talking, and they're saying that this one table that she has isn't going to pay for their food. And I only hear a fragment of it, so it sounds like, to me, my immediate thing is like, oh, they're being feisty or whatever, and like trying to get out of paying or whatever. So then the manager walks away, and then I walk up to her. I'm like, yo, what's going on with that table? Like, they're not paying? And she said, oh, well, yeah, their baby just died, so we're going to give them a complimentary food.
Fucking
Yeah, I
hell.
was like, damn, all right, you know what? Never mind. I was about to be like, damn, what's wrong with them? But you know what? Never mind. Fair enough. You know what? Fair. You should probably stop coming into work also. Like, it sounds like only tragedies happen to people that sit at your tables. This is, we need to, like, you need to change your profession. You should probably work somewhere else. Like, stop doing this and just do something else. Get, like, an office job somewhere.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's pretty fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, their baby just died. Like, damn!
Jesus.
What the hell?
Fuck.
Holy shit.
It's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was funny that just like she's had this insanely bad luck that like, oh, people just have horrible things happen to them and they're like, you know what? I need to go sit at this restaurant at her table. We got this. Okay. All right, here's something I wanted to talk about. I got two like things that I need extra resources for this episode. I'm going to dive into one of them now. So, all right, how familiar are you with the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Not very.
Okay,
For a
good.
football team, that's about the extent of my knowledge.
That's about all you need to know. Is they're an NFL team. That's about it.
Okay.
So this one guy who works for the Jacksonville Jaguars back in March got caught embezzling a huge amount of money from them, and I wanted to talk about it because I read this thread that this guy wrote about it, and it's pretty funny. All right, so the guy's name is, I believe, something like Amit Patel. He was the guy that was embezzling, and if anyone wants to read this, it's on Tyler M. Webb's Twitter. He has a thread of like pretty much all of the details of the story. So that's what I'm reading, just in case anyone's curious. I don't have like a news article or something. I just found this thread.
Okay.
So he says, a Jacksonville Jaguars employee was just sent to prison for stealing $22 million from the team. But the man behind this genius plan was just a low-level employee in the team's finance department. Here's how he got away with it for almost 4 years.
3 years?
Yeah, almost 4 years. It starts in 2018, and he got caught, like, I don't know, I think maybe a year ago, and all the details came out now because he just got sentenced. I'm not sure. All right, so the thread goes on. In 2018, Amit Patel was hired by the Jaguars as a coordinator for financial planning and analysis. He later became the manager of that same department. In this position, Patel had access to the organization's virtual credit cards. This basically means he didn't need a physical card to make online purchases. And once he realized this in September 2019, he was off to the races. So he works for the finance department, and they don't have a physical credit card. They just have a digital one. That's just like, oh, here's all the information, and they just let him have access to this. So they can't take it from him. They'd have to change the credit card.
Right.
So he knows the number and the PIN and everything like that. So then he's like, oh, wait, there's an opportunity here. I can just start making a bunch of money. It says, from September 2019 to February of 2023, Patel's purchases included a $265,000 condo, a $95,000 watch, a Tesla Model 3, a Nissan pickup truck, 1996 Tiger Woods putter, like Tiger Woods' actual golf club. He bought crypto, a private jet, a country club membership, and a retainer fee for a criminal defense law firm. So he's already lawyered up preemptively, I guess. I don't know what he needed the lawyer for, but yeah, he bought a ton of shit, which is funny because, like, I think that's the only way I could get caught wearing a $95,000 watch is if I stole it. Like, you gotta
what's even on the watch?
I don't know. I think it's just a nice
$1,000.
Yeah, it's nearly $100K worth of watch. Like, bro, what? Brother, you have a clock on your phone. What is the point of this? So, unfortunately, that still doesn't make up most of the money. So, like, the lawyer absorbed a lot of money. I mean, a country club membership is expensive, but it's not, $22 million expensive. He traveled on a private jet, but I don't think he owned it. Bought crypto, but, like, that's an investment. I mean, I assume you lose everything when you go into crypto, but maybe he didn't. And then, like, I don't know, like $400,000 worth of condo and watch, plus, like, 2 cars. Like, that's not $22 million. So where did the rest of it go?
Hookers and blow.
Dude, he wishes. He wishes it was hookers and blow. He wishes, because you know what? Then at least he'd have something to show for it. He would. He would have had way more fun. He would have had significantly more fun snorting hookers and fucking blow than he did with this money now. The thread says, however, most of the money he spent went to fund a gambling addiction. $400,000 at Amazon and Best Buy, $600K in purchases from Apple, which I guess, like, that's another $1 million accounted for, and then $1 million transferred to DraftKings, and $20 million transferred to FanDuel. So that's where the bulk of that $22 million went. Is $20 million of it right there went to FanDuel. So he's just sports betting, and he loses like $22 million. It says, in total, Patel racked up a bill worth at least $22,221,554.40. But there's still one obvious question that has remained largely unanswered. How did he get away with it for so long? Well, when Patel was smart enough to identify large recurring transactions on the team's virtual credit card. Oh, I read that all wrong. Never mind. Forget what I just said. Essentially, he sees, like, there's recurring charges on the credit card and is like, oh, this is my chance. This is how I'm going to finesse them. So it reads, so when he submitted financial reports, he would simply inflate some of the team's larger expenses, i.e. catering, airfare, hotels, to hide the purchases he was making. So they're expecting to see charges for, like, flying players places, giving them food and hotels and shit. because they have to travel around to play football. Like, and there's a lot of staff and shit.
Right.
Like, he just like alters the spreadsheets or whatever so it looks like it's more expensive. So that way, it adds up to the amount that he's taken out, like the amount that he's gambled.
Okay.
It says per court filings, the Jaguars didn't find out about this scheme until the NFL started investigating Patel for his gambling. But once they started digging, they realized that Patel had actually been gambling with the Jaguars' money. So the Jaguars have no idea that this is going on. And the only reason they find out is the NFL starts looking like, damn, this guy's losing a lot of money. What's going on, bro? Someone is losing a lot of money at gambling. And they're like, wait a minute. The guy that's losing all this money on FanDuel is actually an NFL employee? Yeah, you're not allowed to sports bet if you work for the NFL, bro. You're straight up not allowed to do that. So then they start looking into it and they're like, "Wait a minute, where the fuck did you get $22 million? You don't make that. What the hell?" Patel's defense at trial was he had a debilitating gambling and alcohol addiction, stating that 99% of the funds he stole were to cover gambling losses and that he fully intended to pay the $22 million back once he won the money. So the plan is steal a bunch of money, put it on a sports bet, win it back, and then give them the original that you took and then keep the excess. Keep your winnings.
This is fuck, man.
He's a genius. The problem is, I believe he was betting on the Jacksonville Jaguars a lot of the time, who are not a very good team.
Yeah. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, they're mid, I think, right now. But bro, if you had $22 million, you should not be betting it on the Jacksonville Jaguars. What are you doing? What the fuck? And then the last bit of this thread says, as of this week, a judge sentenced Patel to 6.5 years in prison. The Jaguars are also trying to recoup the $20 million from FanDuel. However, the company has no legal obligation to pay them back. So my guess is they probably won't. That's how it ends. They're like, FanDuel, can we get this back? And they're like, why? He lost it fair and square, bro. Like, listen, he stole the money from you and gave it to us. That seems fair to us. Like, we would have had to pay him out, so kick rocks.
Yeah.
Sick move from FanDuel there.
God, dude.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of this guy, although it didn't really work. Although for 4 years is crazy. And it is interesting that he only got caught not because the Jaguars knew, but because the NFL found out through looking at FanDuel. Like, can you imagine how long this would have gone on if the NFL hadn't looked into it?
I don't know, man.
It might have actually gone on so long that he could have made the money back and no one would have ever known.
Wins a $1,000,000,000.
Yeah, you know what? I think actually the NFL fucked this guy. I think he was one bet away from making it all back.
$1,000,000,000.
Yeah, I think he actually was about to make $1,000,000,000 and pay everything back, actually.
$1,000,000,000.
Yeah, I think he was so close. Just one more parlay and he would have done it. Everything would have been fine if he was allowed one more chance to try. Like one more, just let him bet on the Super Bowl and he'll make it all back.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Just create a ridiculous 30 leg parlay and just see what happens. Like, fuck it, bro. I've seen people make stupid amounts of money with incredibly specific parlays like that. It is so funny. It's like a sports bet where it has 30 different things that need to happen for you to win. But you put like $1 on it, and if all 30 of those things happen, you just win like 100,000. Like, dude, why wouldn't you just do that, but 22 million times? Cover every eventuality. That's if this guy was real smart. That's what he would do. 22 million one-leg parlays. No one would think that that's suspicious. Not 1 leg parlays, 30 leg parlays worth $1. That would be the method. That's the infinite money glitch in real life. If you guys are watching, if you guys are watching at home, sports betting is an infinite money glitch. If he just won one more time, he would have had $22 million to give back to the team. You know what I don't get though? Why is it like the people that are gambling addicts are so bad at it? You never see one person that's like really good at gambling and is addicted to it and like wins a bunch of money. Like all the people that are
No,
gambling addicts like are like dying. There are people
that's
that
pretty much the story.
yeah, there are people that can win money gambling, like and a lot of money, but they're not addicted for some reason. Like can you imagine how much money they'd make if they were addicted? Like let's get like I don't know, who's the GOAT of poker? Who's like the world poker champion? Like let's get him hooked on
Oh,
gambling.
I don't know. I'd have to
Like
ask one of my roommates. They're crazy about that shit.
okay, let's get one of those guys like really really into gambling and just see like what he could do at a casino. Like, just take him to Vegas and just, like, see what happens. I'm sure he's banned, but, like, I mean, you know, let's just see what happens if he goes into a Vegas casino. They probably, you know
You know
what?
who's actually fucking like goated at casinos?
Who's that?
I I won't name drop, but you know my roommate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking like he just goes there and cleans up like every time.
No shit, really?
Yeah, 'cause he's fucking awesome at like poker and shit.
Oh, interesting. Wait, which one?
Blackjack poker. But
Which roommate?
you know, uh,
The one whose name starts with an M or with an A?
A.
That okay, that's who I was picturing. All right, sweet. I'm
There we
glad
go.
he's good in casinos.
Yes, me too.
That's actually pretty cool. He might just be good luck, who knows? Does he just go into
I mean,
casinos and it's like playing Fallout New Vegas with 10 luck? You just can't lose. Like I play blackjack and I hit 21 every time, no matter what I do.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I want to see what happens though if we could get like some like world class poker player and just take him to Vegas and see how much money he could win. But it occurs to me like they're probably not allowed in those casinos. Dude, they might even have like a wanted poster. Like they got those guys like pictures on the walls and shit. Like don't let them in.
yeah.
It's got to be something like that, right? Like if this guy gets in, we're fucked. Reminds me, I saw this post. It was so funny. It was someone used AI to make a fake clip of David Goggins talking on probably Joe Rogan about just like getting him to say crazy shit.
David Goggins.
Yeah,
Is that?
he's just like motivational guy. He's like I think he used to be a Navy SEAL or some shit. He's on Joe Rogan sometimes. Um but his philosophy for like motivating yourself and, you know, improving your life is just don't be a bitch.
Oh,
Like just don't be weak.
I'll
Like
have to
that's
try
it.
that sometimes.
Yeah. No, he is super cool though. Like he runs a bunch of fucking ultra marathons just cuz they're difficult and then like once he got tired of that or whatever, he switched jobs so now he's like his job is they go to where forest fires are and he jumps out of a helicopter into the wildfire and puts it out like
Fuck, dude.
actually crazy
It's a
shit.
job.
Yeah, that's a job. Yeah, is like helicopter firefighter like but you don't just drop water from the helicopter, you jump out with equipment and you and your boys all jump down, parachute into a flaming forest and like put it out from inside.
Saying.
Yeah, so he is actually sick as fuck. But someone used AI to make like a fake clip of him, and it was really funny because he's like, it's him just talking a bunch of crazy shit. Like, oh, dude, how, you know, I don't believe in depression. How can you be depressed when there are liquor stores everywhere? And like, how can you be
Point.
lonely? Just hang out outside a liquor store. That's where all the cool people are. Like, bro, go make some friends. Like, he's saying shit like that, and then he just randomly pivots and is like, and you know who I respect? Gamblers. Okay? It's not an addiction. It's it's a hustle, okay? They're just really dedicated. I'm actually scared that they're going to put all of the casinos out of business before I can get rich gambling. That's why
I
so
mean,
many
dude's got
casinos,
a point though. That's the sad thing.
yeah, is like the casinos are a dying industry. Like
They
they're not
are.
they're not going to be around very long cuz they can't make
The
money.
online
Sony,
gambling.
yeah. Well that's the bit is he goes, "Yeah, they're all actually shifting to be online because they can't afford to keep the doors open on a brick and mortar location." Like all this gambling happens online because they literally cannot afford to keep the lights on. Like, dude, that could be you if you're just like the world poker champ or whatever. Or if you just have autism and are like you have blackjack level autism that you can just count cards. Like, yeah, they'll
Have you
throw you
seen
out, but
Rain
like
Man?
no, but like you would need him, yeah.
Yeah.
You get him. Well, that's like well that is actually like what happens in The Hangover, right? Is like
Yeah, it was an homage to Rain Man.
yeah, is he's like, oh, he gets really drunk, but then he's like really fucking good at blackjack for some reason.
Counting cards, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you need that. I don't know, like that actually does seem like a solid way to make money. I gotta crack the code. I gotta figure out if there like there's got to be some other way to monetize gambling because
Yeah,
it's so
oh, yes.
powerful. It's such a powerful addiction. Like I could make so much money off it if I just really wanted to. I think.
I mean, most places kick you out, right?
Yeah, if they catch you counting cards, they'll kick you out. Yeah. I don't know how they catch you other than you just like win too much or you make a decision that like you shouldn't be able to know to do.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something like that.
But I don't know. I mean, blackjack seems simple enough that it's like mostly solved, I believe. Like if you just know
Yeah,
the math, like you can just read
they
the
just play
the
with like a ton of decks at casinos.
yeah, like you can read like strategy and then you'll just know what to do, right? Like I mean, I guess it's still interesting cuz like you can kind of tell when someone's cheating at like chess or whatever. Like there was that big chess cheating thing a couple years ago.
Yes. How do you cheat at chess?
Um okay, so the way you cheat at chess is this was by the way, this is actually exactly what people were theorizing. People legitimately think that this is how this guy was cheating. Some fucking like grandmaster player is playing against some guy that's like good at chess but not grandmaster level or something. And the
Okay.
guy that is like good but not amazing wins and he plays like a near flawless game. And the guy that's a grandmaster was like, he's cheating, he must be, because there's no way that you would think to do this thing unless you were actually just like a chess
Oh,
computer. So this guy must
wait,
have
was this the
had,
one where he thought it was a thing in his ass?
yeah, he was like, this guy must have
Yeah, I did hear
had,
about this. Okay.
there must have been like a vibrating butt plug in his ass that someone was using to communicate to him what moves to take.
Right. Something in his ass.
Yeah, like, yo, I'm, like, you know what? Since that's happened, that's actually my go-to excuse for when I lose at anything. Is I'm like, check their ass, they're cheating. All right, you must have something up your ass. There's no way you could have beat me at insert anything. Losing at chess, they have a vibrating butt plug. Lose it, fucking darts, vibrating butt plug. It doesn't matter. That's it is so out of pocket though, and it is funny because like there's no way for them to actually verify it. Like everyone just thinks that he did. Like everyone just thinks that he did
Yeah.
that. They never like proved it conclusively either way.
Check his ass.
No, they weren't like okay, well the grandmaster says we got to check your ass, so bend over. He's like, can I at least finish the game first?
I was doing good.
Wait, I'm winning though. Can I at least finish this? They're like, you can play while we're taking a look. All right. We'll see if you get worse now that we're looking. They're just like, Dude, every chess tournament after this has to have someone just staring straight down your asshole while you play. Like, just to make sure there's no cheating, like, or like every chess tournament, like right before you play, they got to check for like, you know how other sports will like drug test you
Yeah.
before before you play chess, they have to like cavity search you. They're like, all right, put a finger in his ass, see what's up, see if there's anything he's using to cheat. Like, bro, I thought chess was a little fruity before they had to finger your ass before you could play.
A little pretty. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was, yeah.
That's the game.
I mean, it's pretty fruity if you're like super into chess. I think chess is pretty fucking lame. That shit is
I'm
pretty
okay
weak.
with it as long as you don't call it a sport.
I'm still not okay with it, even if you don't call it a sport. First off, clearly it's not a sport. Second, it's lame as hell. Then again, people will call all kind of whack ass sports sports.
Golf,
Yeah,
throwing.
they'll say golf or like baseball is a sport. It's like not really. At least there's running in baseball, but like, eh.
I think baseball is. I think golf is a game though.
Yeah, I mean,
Golf isn't a sport.
I think baseball is not a sport because so many of the all-time greats were either on steroids or were drunk and smoking cigarettes while they were playing. I think the Venn
That's pretty
diagram
cool.
overlap of like there was a time where all 10 of the best like baseball players of all time were all just like smoking cigars on second base like hammered at like 2 p.m. on a Tuesday.
5 o'clock somewhere, Carrick.
It is. I mean, that's
At
true.
least 5 o'clock somewhere.
That's true. Um no, oh, what was oh, it's funny that actually just reminded me of we were talking about big uh like high
Gosh.
profile sports people being scammed out of a bunch of money. That shit just happened in baseball too.
Oh,
Um so they just like freshly minted the new highest paid player of all time.
no.
He
I don't pay
is
that much attention.
he is I believe a Japanese dude named Shohei Otani.
Okay.
And they just found out that his translator was like stealing a bunch of money and gambling it. It's the same shit.
Oh, fuck. That was
It's like
gambling.
yeah, it's like the same thing as fucking the Jaguars. Like, dude, there are obviously some reasons why, you don't want people that work in the like sports industry to be sports betting. But it's so funny that they always lose. Like it seems like every time this happens, they're like, "Oh, someone was stealing money." It's like, "How do we find out?" Well, they gambled a bunch of it and lost. How are you going to
Yeah.
have like insider trading knowledge and still lose? That'd be like if you were in Congress and you lost money on investments. Like, can you imagine how stupid you'd have to be to do that?
I mean, yeah.
Like, you're just throwing the money away, dude.
It's pretty fucking retarded.
Yeah. It is funny though that like I don't know why honestly I don't get the allure of sports betting. Like a bunch of people that I work with also sports bet like on shit that I'm like I don't know how you're doing this. Like when it was the football season and people were talking about, "Oh, I have money on this team or this team." I'm like, "Okay, I get it." Like I know enough about football that I don't want to gamble on it, but I feel like I could reasonably gamble on it and maybe make money, but maybe lose some. I'm just not into gambling as like fun. And then
Yeah,
go ahead.
like a lot of people are getting more and more into sports betting. Like I hear a
Yeah.
lot more people talking about it. It's I don't know.
Yeah, it is
I personally would never do it just because I know I'm not great with money and also mentally retarded, but like
yeah. Well, yeah, I feel like I would have to be so knowledgeable about a sport to consider betting on it that like there's no sport that I'm that confident about.
It's like it's all people like our age too that I know that do it,
Yeah.
and they'll get lucky, make a few $100 and they think they know everything, and it's so annoying.
Yeah. Well, it's funny to see it get out of hand, right? So like there were people that I work with that would bet on football games. And like, okay, sure. And then like, oh, the NBA season starts and they're betting on that too. And it's like, okay, still pretty normal, I'd say. Like I still wouldn't do it, but okay, fair enough if you watch the NBA a lot. Plus like it seems like the NBA like probably really really needs sports betting. As a non-basketball fan, like it's on a lot at the place that I work, so I see a lot of the games, and it seems like they don't matter until the last 2 minutes anyway. And it's really hard to
Yeah.
care if it's not a playoff game. Like, I don't understand why you would care about it if it's not a playoff game and it's not the last 2 minutes, because it seems like that's where every game is decided. Like the first
I
three
don't watch a
quarters,
lot of basketball.
yeah, like
I think it's boring.
the first 3 quarters are completely irrelevant, and then the last like half of the fourth quarter is also irrelevant. The first fucking like 6/8 of this game is completely not worth watching.
Yeah,
So
I always thought it was boring.
yeah, I don't know. I've just never been a basketball fan, but it just
Yeah.
seems that way. I'm sure if you're super into it, it's entertaining, but I'm sure, a lot of people are getting into it now because they have money on the game, right? Then you'd be interested.
Right.
If you have like $50 at stake, then like, if there's like $50 that you're about to lose, then like it might be entertaining to watch. But then we showed like UFC, and I thought like, okay, I don't know shit about UFC, but at least that one is like entertaining to watch because it's just people beating the shit out of each other. So I'm watching that, and then I'm talking to some of the people I work with, and I find out they also have money on this, but it seems like they don't know who the fuck is fighting. Like, I'd be talking to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I got money that did like I got money on this guy," but they wouldn't say his name. They're like, "It's this guy or that guy." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Do you not know?" Like, what? Like, you got to be down bad to bet on like a sport that you don't know anything about. Like, if you're super knowledgeable about the UFC and you want to bet on it, again, it'd be like, okay, I mean, go for it. Like, okay, you know who's going to be fighting ahead of time. If you feel very strongly that one of them might win, then go ahead. But if you're just like, I don't know, this guy has like a cooler name or whatever, I'll drop $100 on him. It's like, dude, that's crazy. Like, you're just trying to lose your money at that point. Like, I get it. It
Yeah.
makes watching sports more entertaining, but like, it would just stress me out too. And it's so not profitable. It is so
No, it
far
is
from
not.
actually making you money. Shit is crazy. What was the other
I mean, the
thing?
legal way to do it is through one of those businesses, and they know what they're doing. Like, it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah. Like, it seems like there's so much money in it now. Very similar to casinos, where it's like, listen, a casino doesn't have to scam you horribly to make money off you, but they
Right.
stay in business somehow. Like, it's weird that casinos aren't going out of business anywhere. They're becoming more and more popular. Like, yeah, it's because they win 51% of the time. They don't need to win every game. They just need to win most of them, and that'll come out in the wash. Plus, they give you free drinks and shit, so you're drunk when you're doing it. So that helps also. Because here's what I would bet on is that the people playing games like at a casino as like the dealer are not drunk when they're playing. Those guys are fucking stone cold sober playing. Because it's their ass if they lose too much money. Dude, I would assume you just get fired if you lose too much money. If you let someone come in and run your table, it's probably curtains for you. That's what it seems like to me. Maybe I should open a casino. How hard could it be to open a casino, really? Wait a minute, I got it.
Uh,
Now I know how to make money off this. Okay, we take someone that has like Rain Man levels of autism, and we make him
yes.
the dealer for blackjack. We like
Oh, you
we
counter it.
Yeah, exactly. We say like we don't have this
Okay.
bullshit like house rule like, you have to hit on 16 or whatever. Like, nah, bro, we're not doing that. Like the dealer's just going to play. And then you'll just never win money from him ever. Like, it's going to be the worst night of your fucking life. If you try to play blackjack, you're just going to lose constantly. No, wait, that'd be sick. Or you hire, like, the Rain Man guy to come in and pretend to be, like, a customer, but he's not actually. You just pay him to, like, come in and just mop everyone up at, like, poker or whatever. Like, you just come in and just have him just finessing everyone at, like, these games of chance. That would be the method. You just hire those people.
All right.
Like, dude, these pro poker players are playing, like, against other pro poker players. Like, that shit sounds hard. Why aren't they just hustling? Like,
I don't know, man.
if you're the best player in the world and you're playing against the second best player in the world, that's got to be tough. But if you're playing against some guy that has no idea what he's doing, you could probably clean him out. You got to go find Amit Patel and Shohei Otani's translator and get them at a poker table with you, bro, and just run their pockets for someone else's money. Like, that would be the actual way to do it. Like, I'm putting $22 million on the Jaguars credit card and betting it on this game, and you're just actually the best poker player of all time. You're like, yeah, go ahead, buddy. Oh, yeah, so the other thing I wanted to talk about that was pretty funny. Have you heard of Tekken?
Tekken?
Yep, Tekken. Tekken.
No.
It's a fighting game.
No, I've not. Okay.
So they're on Tekken 8 right now. And they have the chance to do something fucking hilarious. I really want them to do. If they do this, this will actually, like, I might buy Tekken just for this.
Okay.
So one of the, like, I guess the devs are like community manager or something. Like, so one of the guys that works at the company that makes Tekken is on Twitter, and he fields like community requests on Twitter. And a bunch of people all had this idea to go to him and recommend that they add a map that's just in the parking lot or the interior of a Waffle House.
Okay.
So, like, it's a fighting game, but it's just in the parking lot outside Waffle House or just straight up in a Waffle House. And enough people all recommend that he add Waffle House to the game that he sees the messages and tweets this. Okay, I will only ask about this once. Why do some communities send me requests for, quote, Waffle House? Please be sure to explain the basis for the request, including the original story, history, and background. I look forward to an explanation from someone who knows more.
He's considering it?
He is considering putting Waffle House into the game. He was like, listen, enough of you guys have said we want Waffle House in Tekken 8 that, like, okay, if someone just tells me what the joke is, then I'll consider putting it in the game.
All right,
And,
that's not bad.
I mean, I feel like this is probably what convinced him. The first response is that video of, you remember the Waffle House Warrior?
No.
It was a fight that happened like a couple of years ago at a Waffle House where like someone threw a fucking chair at one of the employees, and the employee is like just this like blonde white lady that's like 24 or something, and she like with one arm like fucking kung fu deflects the chair midair or something. And the bit is like, oh, because she works at Waffle House, she must be like a fucking trained martial artist, like she knows kung fu or some shit, right? Like, just this amazing, like, crazy deflect on this like flying metal chair. So someone responded with
Pretty
a
awesome.
gif of her like swatting this chair out of midair, and it just says, "Because this is your average Waffle House employee." That is why.
That's fucking great.
So a bunch of people are replying with reasons why Waffle House should be in the game. So one of them says, Harada-san, it's the biggest mutual combat arena in the United States of America, and we'd appreciate this. I know it would cost to license it, but we will gladly pay.
Holy shit. Like, we start like a fucking GoFundMe.
Yeah, or they would just buy the game so much. Like, they would pay so much for the
God.
DLC that it would fund it. This guy says, this is where many fistfights in America take place. It will make many people angry because it's true, which will only sell more copies. If the fight starts inside, then we smash through the windows into the parking lot. It will be your most famous stage, I guarantee it. In the days of Rome, heroes were forged in the arena. Today we carry the torch of Rome, but we no longer have arena. Glorious combat is to be had at Waffle Houses. We literally measure a storm's intensity by the Waffle House Index. They're that vital to our communities.
Have you ever actually been to a Waffle House?
I have one time.
I've been like 2 or 3 times, but I gotta say, like, I know it's fun to like dunk on Waffle House and Denny's and all that, but like, I've never actually been to a Denny's, but Waffle House, like, I fucking love that place.
Oh, nice. I've been to both Waffle House and Denny's. I've been to one time, and it was like like there was a thing going on. So like I haven't
Dude, every time I've been to Waffle House, it's just like fucking nice and peaceful, and I get my fucking waffle. I don't know, it's great. I love that place.
Where was the Waffle House that you were at? Like, where in the country was it?
Ah, um,
Because I don't think we really have them around here. Like, I don't think there's
there
many
was
in
one in
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. One of them
Okay,
was in Pennsylvania.
interesting. Okay, the only Waffle House I've
One of
ever
them was in
been
Maryland.
Okay. Oh, I didn't. I thought they were more of like a South thing, but Maryland isn't like that far south.
No, they're definitely more south.
Yeah, the one Waffle
Like
House.
once you get them south, there you'll see them more often. But like,
Yeah, the one
yeah, we
Waffle
have
House
one,
I went
at
to
least one in PA.
was. I went to one in Alabama one time.
Oh, sweet.
That was pretty cool. The food was not spectacular. I mean, it was Waffle House. I wasn't expecting a lot, and I did not get a lot. But it was funny when we were going to leave. There was a fucking huge bug in like the like foyer area, like you know where like you go into a store and it's like there's a door and then like an airlock and then another door. It was just chilling between those two doors. It was It was probably one of the largest bugs I've ever seen. I think it was like a moth or something. I honestly couldn't tell. It looked like a fucking mutant.
Fuck.
It was like the size of the palm of my hand, and it was just flying around in there. And then I've only been to Denny's once, and it was weird. It was in was it Key Largo? It was in Florida. It might have been in the Florida Keys. Yeah, I think it was Key Largo. We went to Christmas Denny's.
Christmas Denny's.
Yeah, we went to Christmas Denny's. It was for some reason there was just this big ass tree in the like parking lot or whatever that had Christmas lights, even though we were there in like July. It was just in like Key Largo of all places. Like Key Largo is real nice. It was just really weird to see a Denny's there, I felt like, and then it was even weirder that it had like Christmas decorations up in July. Like it was just very bizarre because it's like, I mean, it's in Florida in July. It's like you don't think of Christmas when you're in fucking that heat. Like that heat and that humidity does not remind me of Christmas at all. And then some shit happened there, but I don't want to talk about it on air.
Okay.
I'll tell you later. It is a funny story though.
All right.
But yeah, so a bunch of people are replying to this guy saying like, you know, you gotta add Waffle House. It's super important. This guy said the chair is a must-use weapon in the arena. It is commonly used by the attackers and or staff of Waffle House. Waffle House is a diner chain that is notorious for having constant fights breaking out there. Thus, the staff have all been incredibly skilled in taking down some of the largest brutes and weapons.
Fucking awesome. I gotta find that video now.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I found it is so good. This GIF, like, oh my god, wait, how do I share this? I don't use Twitter. How do I? Is there no just like external share? Like, can I not just get a link? I'll send it to you in a bit.
Okay.
So okay, then later that same day, he says, "Thanks for the explanation, guys, and I understand that many people are requesting it. However, I think you are missing one important point. The restaurant has both the trademark and the rights to the restaurant, so if the restaurant chain's headquarters refuses to accept my proposal, it will not happen." Which means he sent something to Waffle House to ask for permission to use it as a Tekken map.
Oh shit.
So I haven't heard about anything like involving this since, and it happened on March 30th. But it might work. And then everyone in the comments there says, well, I mean, yeah, but you could just change it slightly so it's not copyright. It doesn't have to be literally Waffle House.
It'd be a lot cooler if it was.
It would be so much cooler. Yeah, and then people are like, yeah, I mean, you know, it'd be stupid. They'd make so much money if they allowed Waffle House to be used in Tekken.
Yeah. Great publicity.
It would be so cool. And then this guy made a fake like loading screen for Waffle House in Tekken. And then a bunch of people are also tagging Waffle House.
Just to get them to see it.
Yeah, just so that they can
That's
see.
pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really what the people want.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like, listen, video games have started doing crossover events way more now. I don't see why there can't be Tekken Waffle House.
Yeah, I mean the Mortal Kombat thing in Invincible really caught me off guard.
Yeah, like, yeah, Mortal Kombat has been doing all kinds of crossovers. Like, they started with like horror movie characters. Like Mortal Kombat 9 had fucking Freddy Krueger as a playable character. And then like they had like Predator, fucking Xenomorph from Alien, the Terminator, RoboCop, like Rambo, I think. Who am I forgetting? Jason Voorhees.
Cool.
Like they have all these characters, like, but they can't fight at Waffle House? What the hell? Yeah, I don't know. It's it would be a serious improvement to Tekken 8 though. I've never played it, but if they added Waffle House, I would buy it. I need to send
What
this
was the
video.
game?
I think it came out this year.
Oh, okay.
It's like the newest version of Tekken. I played Tekken 7 and it was okay. I mean, I'm not a Tekken fan, but I played a little bit of it and I was like, yeah, this is too complicated for me. I'm not going to learn this. Because it seems like there's just too much. There is just too much there. I'm not that good at fighting games. I had a
What
fighting
kind of
game
game is
phase.
it? Is it like a 2D fighting game or is it like...
It's like 2.5 dimension. It's weird. So like you can move in 3 dimensions, but it's still a side-on view.
Okay.
So you can like move up and down, but it rotates the camera with it, so it's still a 2D plane usually. Although you can sidestep like to get out of the way of attacks and shit.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's interesting. There isn't really a whole lot like it. I mean, it's similar to like Virtua Fighter, I guess, but Virtua Fighter's like dead, I think. Can't remember the last time one of those games came out. So, yeah, I really want to see them add Waffle House to Tekken 8. Is there anything else I had to talk about? Oh yeah, there were 2 more things that we can cover quickly. Did you see? You remember Amazon Fresh? You remember that idea?
Yeah. Did they stop that?
Well, they got exposed.
Oh, for what?
So, remember, the premise of Amazon Fresh was it's a store that Amazon runs, but they have, like, cameras everywhere and advanced AI that will detect what you're putting in your shopping cart, and there's no checkout. You just leave the store and it just charges your
Yeah.
Amazon account. Like the
They
AI
were
will just
opening
know.
one up like near us, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got exposed a little bit. It came out that there was no advanced AI charging people.
Oh.
Instead, it was
Oh.
like 1,000 people in India that they just hired to watch the cameras.
Oh.
And
Okay.
I believe that's real. I think that's a real thing that happened. I remember seeing headlines for it, and I was like, yeah, I mean, that, you know what, that makes sense, I feel like. I totally believe it. That they're just like, yeah, there is no fucking... there is no AI, we were just lying.
It's just surveillance.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of Indian people watching you. Oh yeah, there you go. 8 days ago, Amazon insists Just Walk Out isn't secretly run by workers watching you shop. Let's see. Can I find something that'll tell us if this is real or not? Uh oh, they said they're swapping it out. They're changing the technology at more than 40 of the stores.
They're changing the technology
Yeah,
from what? From Indian people to AI.
maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Okay. I just want to know, is it Indians? Okay. Like many artificial intelligence systems, Amazon's system relies on human moderators and data labelers who review Just Walkout transactions and label footage to help train the AI models that make it work, CNBC said. The information reported last year that the team was made up of more than 1,000 employees, primarily based in India, according to CNBC. An Amazon spokesperson confirmed at the time that it uses human moderators, but declined to say how many people it employs in these roles.
Jesus.
About 700 of every 1,000 Just Walk Out sales had to be reviewed by Amazon's team in India in 2022, according to the information, as reported by Business Insider. Internally, Amazon wanted just 50 out of 100 or out of 1,000 sales to get a manual check, according to the report. So they said, yeah, out of like every 1,000 transactions, 700 of them had to be moderated. And we're not going to tell you how many moderators there are. Which is funny because that article made it sound like someone said, was it actually just 1,000 Indians? And Amazon said, well, we're not going to tell you how many there were. Well, listen, there are human moderators, okay? Like, it's not saying no. Like, I'm sure it didn't happen like that, but that is how it's phrased. Like they said, is there any AI at all, or is it just people? And they went, well, there are some people, but we're not going to tell you how many. Which would seem to be yes. And then this is pretty interesting. I didn't really want to talk about this the first time it happened, but now it's a pattern because it happened again. So now I can more reasonably talk about it. But I don't want to dedicate too much time to it because it's dumb.
Okay.
People have finally, like, okay, you know what really irritates me is the people that go out and protest something but are, like, half-hearted about it. Like, they don't know what they're talking about, or they're, like, just totally there just to, because they're bored. Like, they have nothing better to do.
Right.
Like, they don't actually care. They're just there, like, because it's the thing to do. Everyone else is doing it. They don't know what the fuck is going on. They don't actually have their own opinion on it. They're just telling you what someone told them that makes them feel smart.
It's like, I think we even talked about this on the podcast, but, I mean, I see shit like this all the time because I'm on a fucking college campus and everybody's retarded, but, the housing thing.
Yeah, Justice for
I told you about that, right?
Yeah. That's still one of my favorite thumbnails I've ever made.
Yeah, and then it was just like they were wrong.
Yeah, they just didn't know what they were talking about. They were just
I was
legitimately
like, I don't think
uninformed.
Drexel is one of the schools doing this. And then we got an email one day, and it was the president. He's like, "Hey guys, like, we're not one of the schools doing this."
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah.
People are just fucking retarded,
Yeah,
man.
like why don't you go to the other schools that are doing it and protest there? That would make more sense if you were that upset about it. But no, you're just looking for something to do. You're just bored. That's why you're doing it here.
Yeah.
You're not actually helping anyone. Well, I figured out how you can get rid of those people.
Um,
If you ever had to walk past like a fucking traffic jam they created in like a hallway or something, like they're just
oh
taking
yeah,
up space, being
so many
loud,
times.
being super loud outside
Yep.
your classroom, like any time they're inconveniencing you, here's how you get rid of them. You just tell them
Drop kick them.
the new way that like the new trendy fad for protesting is a self-immolation.
Of immolation.
Yeah, is lighting yourself on actual
A big
fire.
word.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I heard about this.
Yeah. A couple months ago, there was a guy that was protesting Israel Palestine. He was
Yeah.
protesting Israel attacking Gaza, and he lit himself on fire. And then, like, I feel like a week ago
Like last
now.
week, right?
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
another one like a
In New
week
York?
ago. Yeah, in New York, outside of Trump's hush money trial.
Yeah, that's what it was, right.
Another guy lit himself on fire.
Yep.
So lighting yourself on fire as an act of protest is in vogue right now. So you should probably, if those Justice for Drexel people are protesting something, you should probably go tell them, like, listen,
They're helping out.
the only way to prove that you're really committed is to kill yourself. Like, the only way that the president of Drexel knows you're serious and he'll actually stop is if you light yourself on fire. Don't worry, I have the gasoline right here. I'll give you a box of matches and everything. Listen, I'm down for the cause also, but he said the only way that he's gonna like not buy all these townhouses or whatever is if you personally light yourself on fire right now.
Yeah.
And then you really get to see who's about it and who's not. I think this is a great
Yeah.
idea actually. To separate
Ride or
like
die, bitch. Let's go.
yeah, like the fake protesters from the real protesters. Cuz like okay, the two people that burned themselves alive were clearly like very mentally ill, but like they really did
Yes.
believe everything that they were saying.
Yeah.
Like there was no amount of like, well, they only half believed it. They were just doing it because it was cool. Like, nah, bro, they died insanely painful deaths to tell you
Yes, if
that
you're
like they
lighting yourself
really,
on fire, you believe the cause.
yeah, they really meant that shit. 100%. No one's
Yeah.
doubting that they meant what they were saying when they were on fire. So I think that's what they have to do. Like, I think that's the new counter to when people are protesting something. Like those annoying like climate protesters that just like block roads and destroy shit for no reason. Like,
Yeah.
just light yourselves on fire.
Oh my God. Wait, sorry, one thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of the climate stuff, this was not my school, but my dad sent me this clip from I think it was The View.
Oh, I've seen this.
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
I believe so. Was it the host blaming three things on climate change that have nothing to do at all with the
Yes.
climate? Yeah.
So um it was the eclipse
Yeah.
out of our atmosphere.
Yes.
Okay. Um it was I forget what the third one was actually.
It was cicadas.
That was the one I remember. What was the other one though?
The earthquake that hit the East Coast.
The earthquake, right.
Yeah.
Again, seismic activity, not in the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's tectonic plates.
Um and then yeah, the cicadas they come I think it was the 7-year cicadas and like the 13-year cicadas or something like that, right?
They cicadas have a
Right,
like
That's
a
it's
cycle.
math.
Yeah.
It means that this year is a multiple of like 7. It's math.
Yes.
Yes.
Literally yes. So, yeah, this clip on the View they're talking and they're talking about the earthquake that happened that hit the East Coast recently. And they're
Yeah.
saying that one of the people that works for them, like I think one of their makeup people or whatever, thought like God was bringing holy fucking justice down on the planet and she was panicking or whatever. And then realized it was just an earthquake. And one of the hosts is like, yeah, I mean, she thought it was like God or like, maybe it was like climate change or something. And then the other hosts had to pretend like that's not the dumbest shit any of them have ever heard in their entire lives. And like she won't let them just say like, haha, good one, but you do know like climate change has nothing to do with earthquakes, right? Like the,
Yeah.
the like the
Well, and that's the
tectonic
scary
plates
part.
shifting doesn't have anything to do with the climate. Like no amount of
Yeah.
carbon in the atmosphere makes earthquakes happen. Like if you wanted to say like
That's the
something
scary
about
part.
like
It's like,
hurricanes, maybe like okay, fair enough. That's like at least
yeah,
atmospheric in nature.
if the other women on The View are correcting you,
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
you mean you said the most like insanely retarded shit I've ever heard in my life.
You
You
know what
know?
it you know what it reminds me of? I feel like the only way you can be on The View and have every host say that you're a fucking moron is you have to have either just said the smartest shit ever or the dumbest shit ever. I love those images that people will circulate where it's like the bell curve of like IQ, but the low IQ and the high IQ both agree and it's the middle IQ that like disagrees.
Yeah.
So it's like I've seen one, it'll be like oh for like losing weight or something, right? The low IQ is like just eat less food and you'll lose weight. Like how dumb people think losing weight works. Like, oh, just eat less food, you'll lose weight. And then the middle one is
Right.
like, no, you have to understand the fucking bioavailability of all this shit. You need to like you need to do all this.
Exercise.
You need to check the macros. You need to check all the ingredients and all this shit. And then like the high IQ is like calories in, calories out.
Right.
It's like, wait, but the smart guy and the dumb guy agree, but the fucking midwit is the one who's like disagreeing. I feel like everyone on The View is like that midwit where like I feel like if you were really smart and said some shit, they would also not like you. They would also
Yeah.
be like, nah, we gotta fucking get this guy. But like, if you say something insanely dumb, they're still like, no, you're an idiot.
Right.
Because yeah, I mean, then she was like, yeah, and you know the eclipse, like that's weird. It's like, yeah, the moon passing in front of the sun is not related in any way to climate change. I'm sorry to break it to you, but more carbon in the atmosphere, more greenhouse gases are not gonna make the moon pass in front of the sun any more or less often. It's just that everything's in orbit. Like it's just that everything is spinning. They'll just line up sometimes. It's just
And
a
the
coincidence,
cicada one
bro.
is the dumbest because it's like they're coming up on time.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's
Or like
different
nothing's
species.
wrong there.
Yeah, yeah,
What's wrong
it's
with
fine. It's
that?
nature working as nature is working. Like,
Yes, they're coming up on time.
yeah, it's
It's not
literally
like
like
if there was something like the cicada cycles have shifted, right? Like that's actually insane. That's something we need to look into right away.
yeah, that would be scary, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they've
if
been doing
like
that shit for fucking the beginning of time, you know?
yeah, like since cicadas had evolved, like you know, they've been on this cycle of like some species will hibernate or fucking gestate or whatever the word for it is for like 7 years and others will do it for like 13 or 11 years or whatever, however long it is. And sometimes they line up and you get a fuck ton of cicadas.
Yeah.
Like some because it turns out sometimes 13 and 7 overlap in terms of multiples. Like it's not
Yeah, I
every
know it
year.
was a few years back we got one of the groups. It wasn't.
Yeah,
I don't think it was multiple groups. I think it was just one of the groups.
yeah, I think it was like a
And
17-year thing or something. I
yeah,
think
I
it was
think
in
it was
like
the longest one.
I think it was like in 2020 or 2021. I feel like it was
I know
around COVID.
it was like noticeably more up here,
Yeah.
but like down south, it was like fucking insane. Not even like the deep south. Like I had a friend in Maryland at the time,
Oh shit.
and she
Okay.
would send me videos of just like swarms going by. Like it was insane.
Oh shit. Okay.
So fucking cool.
Yeah. Like I remember expecting there was gonna be a ton, so I thought like, oh, it wasn't like it seemed to me like there wasn't a difference, but also it's because like my
Yeah, down south it was
expectations.
crazy.
Yeah, but it's like because my expectations were so high and it seemed so average. Like that one
Yeah,
year that they were supposed to come out, I was like, I mean, this seems about the same as any other summer. Like we get cicadas, but not a problematic amount. It's just you hear them during the day during the summer, and then they just shut the fuck up in the evening.
yeah.
but I think this is the first time they're supposed to overlap.
Yeah, so with the two groups, we might actually notice something up here.
Yeah, maybe that'll be fun. I mean, listen, if we could just get a little bit of climate change to just make them like, I don't know, a little quieter, that'd be cool. Like, hey
Yeah.
guys, keep it the hell down a little bit, okay? I'm gonna be trying to record shit this summer, all right? I don't need you outside my window hollering at bitches, okay? Because that's what they do. Isn't that why they make that noise? Is it's like a mating call?
Yes.
They are actually
As
all
far as I
out there.
know.
That cicada noise that everyone is thinking of right now is like it's considered Riz in their culture.
Yeah.
That is how the cicadas fuck. That's how you know they're down to fuck. If you hear a cicada making that noise, I want you to imagine a cicada that's down to fuck. Oh yeah, I don't know why.
I'm available.
Yeah, I don't know why this it was. You know what?
I'm
It was.
single.
It's because I said it's considered that in their culture. I just remember I watched the two Dune movies recently.
Oh yeah, how was the second one?
It was good. I really liked it.
Okay.
It was interesting
I haven't seen either
because
one.
it was interesting. So my dad is really into Dune, just like as a franchise. Like he's reading the books and everything right now.
Mm.
And he watched the first
Got that big
one.
board game, right?
Yeah, he watched the first like reboot one, I guess, because there's like an old version of it that's like
Mm-hmm.
okay. I mean, people really don't like it, but it's very 80s.
One point the 80s, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it is very obviously a product of its time. If you watch it now,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm pretty sure the end scene is like the culmination of that movie is a knife fight between fucking Kyle MacLachlan and Sting.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't know that.
Yes, Sting is in it. There was actually supposed to be a movie, like there was supposed to be an adaptation of Dune that had like the most loaded cast of all time, but it ended up falling through and we got like this one instead. We got like the 80s one instead.
Mm.
I think it was like I think they had actually managed to somehow agree to get fucking the emperor, like the emperor of all space to be Salvador Dali.
It's cool.
Like that would have been sick as fuck, but it just fell through.
Yeah.
And then we got this version now. And I watched the first one like 2 weeks ago, and then I watched the most recent one because it came to on demand, like home rental or whatever. And I just watched it on there like this last week, and it was pretty good. I didn't like.
Yeah, I gotta watch them.
Yeah, I didn't have like any super huge expectations. I just remember when Dune 2 came out, people were like, "Oh my god, this shit is amazing," and it was pretty solid.
I feel
It
like I
was.
mostly heard about the popcorn bucket.
Oh, the popcorn bucket was fucking. That was so funny. Yeah, I just want the like collector's item. Yeah, I'll buy the ticket, but like, could I just get the popcorn bucket?
Did you see what Deadpool 3 is doing?
Yeah, they're doing the same thing where it's like two popcorn buckets
Yeah.
and it's just both of them like making like dick
It's their
sucking
mouths.
lips. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the DSLs in the popcorn bucket. That's just the new way to
Mhm.
market your movie. It's just a fleshlight that you could, I suppose, eat
Fuckable
popcorn out
popcorn
of.
bucket.
Yeah, like just make a fleshlight that you could also maybe eat popcorn out of. No, I don't know why they haven't started doing that as like actual marketing. If your movie has like a super hot woman, just make it look like her.
Yeah, they should have done the Zendaya.
Yeah, for
Fucking
fucking
popcorn
Dune
bucket.
2. Yeah, they should have had like the fucking Zendaya fleshlight popcorn bucket. That would have
That
gone hard.
like a fucking worm monster, whatever it was.
Yeah, it's a sandworm right now. Dune 3, we're gonna get the Zendaya fucking. We're gonna get the Zendaya bucket, dude. Hell yeah.
Either that or fucking Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, dude. I mean, it was like impossible to watch that movie. We have this bit. We were playing the
I fucking
Dune.
hate him though. I'm so sorry.
You don't like Timothy Chalamet?
I do not like Timothy Chalamet.
What's wrong with Timothy Chalamet?
He's just weird. He's just like, not to be that guy, but he's just like way too much of a twink, you know?
That's actually, we have this
Like,
bit.
I'm the last person who should be calling anybody a twink.
Yeah, this fucking low T fucking Timothy Chalamet motherfucker.
But it's just a bit too much, and like the Wonka thing didn't help.
Yeah, now he's fucking, yeah, he's super fruity and yeah. Um,
And he's playing. Do you know who he's playing? Like his next big role
no, who's he
in the
supposed to be next?
biopic?
No.
Uh, Bob Dylan.
Interesting. Okay, I
What the
guess.
fuck?
All right. Why Bob Dylan?
I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna make a movie about Bob Dylan, that's kind of cool. But like Timothy Chalamet, I mean,
Yeah, I don't think of Bob Dylan as like a twink. I don't know a lot about Bob
no,
Dylan, but I don't think of him as a twink.
he was a skinny little guy, but like
Not like effeminate though.
not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He doesn't look like he receives.
no, he does not. He had too much money to receive.
I mean, money was clearly no object. I'm pretty sure Freddie Mercury was receiving.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that dude liked receiving. And he
I don't
had
know. He's a
quite a
big
bit.
guy. You think so?
I mean, he probably did both, to be honest. He was probably a switch.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, so we have this bit with Timothy Chalamet. We were playing the Dune board game or whatever, and it was like me, my dad, and one of my uncles, and they licensed everyone's likeness for the game. So you play as different
Oh, like the
characters.
actors and shit.
Yeah. So they all have like different abilities or whatever, and you're supposed to play as like different factions. So like, oh, you can be like House Atreides or House Harkonnen or I don't know who else, but you can be some of the other noble houses. And they each have like two playable characters. So like, if you get House Atreides, you can be either Duke Leto or Paul, and if you're Harkonnens, you can either be Raban or Baron. But
Okay.
my uncle gets Paul Atreides, whose likeness is from the movie, is Timothy Chalamet. And his power, like his in-game power, is he can look at the top card that he's about to draw, like one turn in advance.
Okay.
And he was about to like do that, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna check the top card, but that's because I'm Paul Atreides. I can do that." And I was like, "Okay, you can do that, but you have to say while you're doing it, I'm Timothy Chalamet," as you do it. So then we were just doing that the whole game. Whenever like he would do anything, it was just like super fruity Timothy Chalamet voice doing it. And then I watched both movies, and it was impossible not to think about that all the time. Like, then that just became the bit, is like just fleshing out exactly what a twink Timothy Chalamet is. Like, one of the resources in the game is water, because it's a desert planet. You gotta like have water if you're trying to mobilize troops anywhere. And the way it signifies this is just like a bunch of tokens that are just like water droplets. So then I handed him some water droplets, like, oh, here's your water you get for doing that thing. And he's like, okay. And then he puts it on his player mat right where Timothy Chalamet's face is, so it looks like he's crying. It's just like everything you can do to be like, he's just like cartoonishly small. Like he fits in like your back pocket, and he just like, if he's trying to get somewhere, he just like floats away on the wind. So it was impossible to watch those movies without thinking about that. But you know, they were pretty solid. I think like they're pretty watchable. They're long. They're long as fuck though, and it's a little tough because
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
they don't give you very much like lore. Like there is a lot of lore, but you don't get a lot of it. It kind of just starts and it explains some things, but not enough, I would say.
Okay.
Like they tell you that the spice is super important, but they don't tell you why it's super important. They just tell you that it is. Which is like, I mean, I guess like for the
Are they
purpose.
like spice traders? Is that like the whole thing, or?
So the point is like, basically the emperor rules over all of space, and then he keeps these noble houses in line, and the noble houses are all vying for power and shit. And one of them, which is called the Harkonnens, are pretty much just like evil looking bastards that have the rights to harvest this resource called spice from Dune, the desert planet. It's called Arrakis. And spice is like this resource that can only be found on this planet, and it's got a bunch of strange properties where like it's a hallucinogen, like it's a drug, but if you take enough of this drug, you will like evolve into a superior being. And that's how they accomplish space travel, is with these like evolved beings. So the way you like travel large distances through space is you have someone that's like just tweaked out of their fucking mind on spice, that's like evolved to just fold space in on itself and then just jump across, basically.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
So yeah, it's interesting because that's how they get around. Ships don't really need to fly anywhere, so ships are all super weird shapes. Like they're not aerodynamic at all. Like they're just flying spheres or cubes and shit because they're like huge, but they don't need to be aerodynamic. Because you just end up folding to get places.
Just teleport like a fucking ship.
Yeah, you just fold space in on itself until you get to where you want to be. So you don't. There's no physics that happens. It's all quantum physics. So that's why spice is super important, but they just don't tell you that. They just tell you, like, spice is a hallucinogen and it's super important, everyone wants it. So the Harkonnens being the ones that are fucking in position to mine this planet means that they have a lot of power. Which is like, yeah, you definitely need to know that for the plot to make sense, but the whole, like, folding space is pretty cool. And, you know, the whole thing with, like, the mentats, they don't really explain who or what the mentats are. Like, all these different noble houses have these guys that are, like, basically Rain Man level smart. Like, they're all, like, hyper fucking intelligent, called mentats. And they have those instead of computers. They have, like, just arrays of people that are that smart, just doing calculations and shit super fast. Because in that universe, whenever they build robots just rise up and try to kill humans, so they can't have computers.
Okay.
So instead of computers, they just have, like, people that are just, like, Rain Man levels of smart or whatever. And they, like, never explain that in the movie. Then again, the mentats have, like, nothing to do in these two movies, so I guess that's fun. It is funny, though, because it was interesting. I liked it because it seemed like it was a good, like, it seemed like it wasn't being preachy about anything. Like, it seemed like it just had, like, a very standard message it was trying to tell, like, very hero's journey-esque shit, but it wasn't trying to, like, get too cute with it. It was just playing it straight, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, that's refreshing now.
Yeah, because it's weird. Like, people got so sick of, like, things being played straight that then they just lost the ability to do it, and now things being played regular again is, like, super cool to see.
It's what you want.
Yeah, you're like, finally, fucking cool story structure.
No message
that follows the structure and sticks to it and isn't trying to fucking subvert my expectations. Like, awesome. Right. It was cool for that reason. I like that. Some of the audio mixing isn't great, and the actress that plays his mom needs to speak the fuck up. She mumbles and delivers her lines way too fast. It's kind of distracting. Like, it's very hard to understand what she says half the time. And the second movie is good too. I actually think I like the second movie more just because it really, like, the first one had to build up so many things that the second one got to pay off. It just felt like the second one was way more eventful. It is interesting, though, because I haven't heard them use the word jihad yet. They've, for some reason, stopped calling it a jihad. Who knows why they stopped calling that thing that happens a jihad? Because they're based off books. In the books, they had characters declaring jihads on each other and shit.
Oh.
And I remember being like, well, wait, what the fuck? Why? And they're like, yeah, well, the guy that wrote it, like, at the time, I think it was like in the 60s or whatever that he wrote it, like, it didn't really have that, like, a modern connotation that it does now. It was just kind of a foreign, cool sounding word for holy war.
Right.
So they've stopped calling it a jihad in the new version. Just like,
What do they call it?
they just say, like, I'm declaring war. Or, like, it's a
Oh,
holy
okay.
war. But they don't say jihad. But I think in the books they did. Like, this character was like, I'm declaring a fucking jihad against these guys. But in the movie, he's like, I'm declaring a holy war against these guys. And you're like, okay, I mean, I see why they changed it. But, like,
Right.
it's funny that they had to. All right, I think that's everything I wanted to get to. Yeah, I gotta drum up some more topics for next time, because I burned through a lot of them today. Oh yeah, there's the TikTok ban just went through. I want to talk about that more next time, because I have other things for that one too. I have other topics that play into that one that's pretty funny.
Okay.
So yeah, there's the hook for watching the next episode is probably going to be discussing the TikTok ban. That isn't really a ban, but it's funny because TikTok keeps doing things that make the ban look like a better and better idea. Like they found out that the U.S. is trying to ban TikTok, and they went, let's give them a bunch of reasons to do that. Let's play exactly into their hands, please. Just really funny. Not really what I expected them to do. But okay, fair enough. Fair enough, TikTok. Fair play. Maybe you know something I don't.
Go for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. I don't know. I don't really have anything to plug. Oh yeah, I was gonna do a Helldivers video, but I ended up getting really sick and then promoted at work right after. So I've been busy as shit recently. So I'm putting that one on the back burner. I'm not like abandoning it. I'm still gonna make it. I just need to like rewrite everything so that it's not in the tense of like this just happened, because it's now been like, I don't know, a month, maybe a month and a half. So I'm still working on that. I might put some Far Cry 6 shit on my main channel. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, keep checking for that, I guess. Maybe I'll link it again in the description, but I haven't put anything up there yet, so I don't know. I'll also link the Twitter thread about that guy stealing from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Creating more work for myself. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so, keep an eye on that. Make sure you're subbed so you can see the next episode when that goes up. We're going to be talking about TikTok again. Feels like every episode we're talking about TikTok. It's
Better
just
shit to talk about.
it is honestly the most interesting social media platform right now.
Digging their own grave.
It's so funny. There's like always something happening. Like, oh dude, like AI streams, like the NPC streams. Dude, I finally found the funniest NPC stream.
Oh. What is it?
It's a guy, it's this one black kid, and it's important that he's black. That's the only reason I mention it. Is he's pretending to be Miles Morales. and when you donate things, he'll like say lines from like Into the Spider-Verse or across the Spider-Verse or whatever. He'll drop lines from it whenever you donate. And the way like TikTok live stream donations work is like you spend like TikTok coins to convert it into like an item of some sort. So it'll be like an ice cream cone or something, right? But like they get more elaborate as you pay more TikTok coins, which equate to real money. So people started fucking with him by giving him too much money, which is a hilarious way to fuck with someone. They're like donating obscene amounts of money, but it makes him have to do the same thing over and over again for like hours. And they picked like the one that is physically most inconvenient for him to do. So whenever you donate a certain threshold, it will send like a animated GIF of like a galaxy like orbiting, right? Like a spinning galaxy.
Yeah.
And when you send a galaxy, He'll say in his Miles Morales voice, like, "Yo, thanks for the galaxy. Maybe I'll get back to my home universe or whatever." And then he has to jump out of frame, run around his phone that's on a tripod, and then jump back into frame from the other side and be like in a new universe now, like pretend like he fell in. But if you just donate
Oh
like
fuck.
50 of them, then he has to just keep doing it. So he just gets like really tired. Like he's just like sweating and out of breath and like chugging water. And he's like, thanks for the galaxy. And then like they do it enough that he just like breaks character. So he's just like, man, fucking stop sending galaxies. This shit is ridiculous. They don't pay me enough for this shit, man. Like, they're just sending you galaxies, so you have to like run and jump around for a bit, and they give you like 100. So I feel like TikTok is just an infinite source of funny things to talk about. So no shit, it comes up a lot. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching.
Ooh.
Sub for more. Yeah, what's up?
Can I drop one more thing?
Yeah, okay, what's up?
All right. So brief news, very brief news. It's something I want to mention because I've been trying to get like so many people on board with this. There is a show. I love this show. You started it. I don't know if you ever finished it. Did you finish Severance?
Yes.
You did. Okay. What did you
Yes.
think of the ending?
I thought it was pretty good. Although
Okay.
I don't know why they're doing a second season. I would have just liked one more episode in season 1 and then just that be like the finale.
Really?
Yeah, I think
All
that would
right.
have been the way to go, cuz like a second season implies like they're not going to get found out. You know what I mean? Like a
I
second
want.
season I think implies that like they didn't do enough to get the word out. But I feel like the way the last episode went, like things would just sort of naturally unravel based on what they did. So like you want to see like, oh, what happens with Mark and fucking whatever. Like you want to see like what happens, but it
Yeah.
doesn't seem like they'd need a whole season to explain what would happen. It seems like it would need one really long episode.
Well, people's like kind of hopes for this season, from what I've read online, is that it's mostly going to be backstory,
Okay. That might
and
be good,
that I'm
yeah.
into a lot
Yeah, that could be good. I'd like that.
because I want to see his wife's backstory.
Yeah, I
I
want to
want to see
see.
Dylan's backstory because
Yeah.
Dylan. That's the thing that Dylan has fucking kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I
He's
love
the
that
only
they
one
just
without like a clear reason to be there.
yeah, it seems like he should not want his memory wiped.
Right. So I want to see Dylan's backstory for sure.
Yeah.
I want to see how his wife ended up there. Uh, the girl's she's kind of self-explanatory. Um,
Hers I feel like they explained well enough that you're like, okay, I get why she's there.
yeah. And then Irving, I think, is really cool because he has the strongest connection between the worlds because he has that physical reminder every time he goes in
Yeah, he's got the
with the
paint under
paint
his
under his
nails.
fingernails.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was a really cool idea.
I thought that was
Um,
super interesting.
so I gotta say I'm psyched for this. And my mini announcement is they just wrapped up filming for season 2.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Like we're gonna get that fairly soon.
Oh, awesome.
Um,
Okay.
and yeah, just anybody who's out there listening, if you have never watched Severance, fucking watch it. It's great. It's on Apple TV because like I think that's why it doesn't
Yeah,
get a lot of
that is exactly the
like
reason it's not like
yes,
super fucking popular is because it's on
it's
Apple
fucking
TV. Like
awesome.
just dude, you know what? Put it on Apple TV, but then put it on like something else. Like put it
It's
somewhere
an Apple
else.
TV originally, you know they're
No,
gonna
I know,
do
but
all
I'm
that
saying
crap.
like put it somewhere. Like don't have it.
Well,
Like
you could pirate it.
I know. Well, that's what I want to do for season 2.
Yeah.
I watched it officially through Apple TV the first time, but it was like not worth.
No, just pirate it.
Yeah. Um, but like
But even if you do pirate it, just like spread the word.
Yeah,
Get people to like this show so we
it
keep
is
getting
really
some.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, fucking, uh, his sister's husband is so fucking funny.
I love him and his friends. Yeah,
Yeah, Rickon is so fucking funny, dude. The book.
dude, he's the best. Bullies are nothing but bull and lies.
Yeah, bullies are nothing but bull and lies.
Oh, that's
So
a
good.
great little weird subplot.
He's going into the like birthing retreat cabin or whatever, and he's like, "Quick, Mark, say a secret. They're attracted to clear air, and you need to clear it by saying a secret." What? I don't get it. Okay, I'll start. Mark, I'm very upset that you haven't told me how much you like my book yet, even though I gave it to you 5 days ago.
It's the fucking best.
He's so good. Mark, would you like to help me hang the kelp? You're
God,
hanging the kelp? Do you really want to know? Like he's just like, listen, bro, just help. Like, are you really gonna ask me? I already have been doing this weird shit. Like, you're not gonna know. You know I'm about to explain it, and it's not gonna help you understand any better. Are you gonna make me explain it, or are you gonna help?
love when they're all looking for the baby and Mark finds it. The other guy just busts in the room. He's like, "I found it! Tell everybody I found the child."
Yeah. No, he's great. Yeah, I am hyped for a season 2 of Severance, so that'll be good. If I mean,
Yeah,
it probably takes a while to edit, but that's probably like months, not
right.
years.
Yeah. So for anybody who already cares about it, there's an update if you didn't already get it.
Nice.
And
I
for
didn't.
anybody who doesn't, start caring about it.
Yeah, start. It's really good. It's 9 episodes. It's not super long, and it's really good. It's really like well made.
Yeah. Produced by Ben Stiller too, so
Yeah,
it's
it's yeah,
it's weird. Yeah.
yeah. Run by fucking Ben Stiller, which is okay. Fair enough. Didn't expect to see his name in the credits, but there he is. I thought if it was Ben Stiller, it might be like a straight up comedy, but it's not. It's like a weird
No, it's a
blend.
good show.
Yeah, I don't even know what genre it is really.
So whenever I pitch it to a friend, uh, I say, well, it's overall it's a dark comedy, I guess.
Yeah,
But
it's like
like,
kind of a drama, kind of a comedy at the same time.
yeah, it's definitely leaning more into like the story than the comedy.
Yeah, but like the comedy
But
doesn't like the comedy's
the
weird.
comedy is fucking good though too.
It is really funny, but it's
Yeah,
weird. Like it's weird how it's
it is weird.
delivered
Yeah,
because they don't. It's like
it's very
unorthodox.
surreal.
Like if you think of like
The
a
whole
TV
world is like
show,
very surreal.
yeah, if you think of like a TV show that has comedy in it, you think like, oh, it has punchlines. Like this one doesn't have like punchlines per se. Like it has
No,
people just
people just do
saying
shit.
weird shit.
Yeah,
Like fucking like Milchek, the like guy that they work with, like the security guard, like the black guy.
yeah.
Dude, he's so fucking funny. Like unintentionally, like
All the
it's
weird corporate shit,
yeah,
like the
like
dance parties and the fucking.
yeah, like it's on purpose, but like they'll have him say weird shit that is so funny, but there's no like pause for a laugh or like insisting on itself that it was funny. It's just like he's just like that.
Yeah, no, and that's what I love too. There's no pause.
Yeah. Like
It's not
the
like the one-liners and the quips, and then there's a pause. You know, it just keeps going. It's just
yeah.
like it works its way into the conversation, and they keep going with it. Like nobody acknowledges the fact that it was like fucking weird. You know?
Like they have the melon party because they have like the new
Yeah,
hire or
yeah.
whatever, and he's like trying to get them a picture so he can replace all the pictures on their desk, and he's like doing his super monotone thing, and he's like, haha, yeah, let's get that picture before the melon bloat sets in. Like, what the fuck? What are you talking about?
Yeah. So the way I pitch it to people is like, it's almost like this weird workplace comedy
Yeah.
when you're in that world, or to an extent. Like you get into some more dramatic shit later on, but like it kind of starts that way, and then you see the outside world, right? And then that's where most of the drama is we're finding out like how these people got there, like
Yeah.
what drove them to make that decision to go to this place.
Yeah, like that is
Like
actually an
that's where a lot of the
interesting.
drama comes in.
Yeah, that's true because like there isn't a whole lot of comedy that happens when they're not at work. Like it is mostly
Now,
just
aside from
plot.
Rickon.
Yeah, yeah. Aside from anything to
Yeah.
do with Rickon, like that. Yeah, that is interesting. I hadn't really realized that, but yeah, because like most of when Mark isn't at work is either him like you're getting backstory about why he would decide to be severed, like him being like
Yeah.
weird and awkward on dates, getting plot, or like interacting with his sister who has a subplot.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true, huh? Yeah, yeah. It is super worth a watch in my opinion. Like it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah. So Severance on Apple TV or
Or the internet.
however you choose to watch it otherwise.
It's on the internet. Say
Yeah.
less. Not advocating for piracy. Guys, piracy is wrong. Okay? You would rob Apple and Ben Stiller of making more money.
Yeah, wouldn't want to rob Apple.
Yeah, all of these rich and famous people really need your money.
Yeah.
What is Apple going to
I'm
do
also,
if you
I
don't
mean,
pay for Apple TV to watch one show?
I can't, yeah, I can't advocate for it just because, it is illegal. But
Yeah.
uh, fmovies.com is my go-to.
Oh, okay,
So,
interesting.
you know, just putting that out there.
Oh, okay. That's your go-to site to avoid because you wouldn't want to watch anything illegal. Right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
That's like
Just I have the name in mind, so I know I don't like subconsciously.
yeah, like if someone
Yeah,
else were to say, "Dude, here's this show you got to check out," and send you a link, and you see that URL, you know not to click on it.
I know not to go there. Yep.
Yeah, because it would be morally wrong.
Yes.
All right, well on that moral enlightenment, thanks everyone for watching. Now go watch Severance if you haven't already because it's good.
It is.
And I don't know, maybe watch Black Clover. I can't really tell yet. It doesn't look or sound very good, and the writing is mid. I think it has a great premise though, so if they can pull that out, then that'll be something to see. It's on Netflix though, so it's easy to find. at least it's not a hard sell. You
It's a
just
lot
go,
easier.
yeah, you just go watch it.
Yeah.
There's like 50 episodes. They're all on Netflix. There's actually like way more episodes, but Netflix has like 50. Just watch them. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. But okay, but on a real note, if you're on Netflix and you have nothing to watch and you've already watched Severance or you don't want to get Apple TV, watch Vinland Saga. It's all on Netflix, and it's actually sick. It's actually so
Oh
good.
shit, yeah.
It's actually so fucking good though. All right, for real now. We're out. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next episode.